is a how-to guide to talk to women at parties. For this video, we have decided to give some tips and tricks to talk to women at parties. Therefore, we've created 10 rules. Rule number 1, dress to impress. Basically, just pick out the best clothing you got in your closet, and I don't know.
Make sure that you follow along with what the theme of the party is. If you're not dressed into the proper theme, you could look like an outsider, and then people may not, women might not think you're cool, if you want to call it that. So just make sure you follow along with whatever the party deems appropriate. So
Otherwise, it's like jerseys or a polo.
yeah, just simple as khakis and a polo. That's always a good option for going to parties. So
Rule number 2, initiation. Decide who you want to talk to at the party, who you find attractive.
yeah, so it's really as simple as that. If you you spot someone in the crowd that's attractive, you go and seek her out and try to start a conversation with her. It's as simple as that. So
Rule number 3, experimenting. This is when this conversation starts. This is when you go up to her and get the conversation started.
yeah, so you gotta have a good. This phase is really important because if you don't start the conversation properly, then things are not going to get off to the right, on the right path, and then it's gonna kind of spiral downwards ever since then. And this is kind of the stage where you show her that this is your stomping grounds, like this is your place, and that you're the best guy out there for her to get to know at the party. So
this is where you have to impress her.
Yeah, very good. First impression is always really important with this stage. So
Rule number 4, drink a beer.
This is our favorite part. This is our favorite part. This is our favorite rule, and this is really important too because we've always found that if you're drinking beer and you're finding a girl that's drinking beer as well, you're most likely going to find a good one because all the good girls drink beer.
Rule number 5, avoid eye language. Avoid talking about yourself the whole time. Avoid, just make sure that you talk about her mostly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just making sure that you're asking her questions and getting to know her rather than trying to impress her with all the things that you may be about. That comes afterwards. After you start to get to know her and you start to learn more about her, then she'll start to ask you questions like that, and then you'll start that bonding phase. So
it's kind of where you want to show that you're interested, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. The interest has to be there. If you're not showing your full interest, then things just ain't gonna work out for you. So.
Rule number 6, pay attention. It's easy just to use the 5 steps of active listening, which is the first step is
receiving. That's as simple as just taking in her
seeing and hearing.
Exactly. Yeah, just listening and taking in the information that she's given you after you're asking questions and whatnot, and then also it's taking in facial expressions and hand gestures and all those sorts of things. So that's really important, and that's it. The second step is attention.
Basically, just pay attention to what she says.
Yeah. Don't get distracted. There's so many different ways to get distracted, especially at parties when there's a million trillion different things going on. So
don't multitask.
Yeah. So
step 3 is understanding.
Yeah. So step 3 is understanding. So that's as simple as analyzing the information that she's given you after you ask her questions. Taking that information, analyzing it a little bit, and then leads into step number 4, which is responding. So that means simple as kind of calculating a decent response that's not going to make you look like a foolish.
And that kind of shows that you were listening to what she said.
Exactly. And if you can give a good response, then you're going to impress her, and that's a huge that's the main part about getting to know that person that you're talking to. So.
And the last step is recalling, basically just remembering what she said, what you guys talked about, so that you can bring it up in later experiences or encounters.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can bring that up in later encounters, then that's going to show her that you were genuinely interested in that first encounter that you had with her. So, that's important to try to keep that stuff stored away in your brain. So,
rule number 7: awkward silence equals lost opportunities.
Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Try to avoid awkward silences
You
because
always got to keep the conversation flowing.
yeah.
Always.
And then obviously most of the time if she's right for you, if she's a good girl and you guys are bonding really well, and those awkward opportunities or those awkward silences usually aren't going to happen. So, but if they do arise, just make sure that you try to figure out something to say right away because you don't want those things to continue. So,
Rule number 8: avoid incompetent listening. Basically, avoid pseudo listening, selective hearing, listening, aggressive listening, and narcissistic listening.
yeah. So just paying attention and don't getting sidetracked with.
Avoid talking about yourself all the time. Avoid saying comments that kind of attack you, and then avoid stuff that I don't know.
Yeah, just be a good guy. I mean, it's pretty simple. So.
And rule number 9: use nonverbal codes, which basically means posture, good eye contact, facial expressions.
Yeah, and you can feel free to use a little bit of hand gestures to show a little bit more emotion in what you're talking to her about, and that just shows that you're genuinely interested and genuinely in tune with the conversation that you're having with her. So that's really important with that stuff. So yeah.
Rule number 10: don't
be a foolie. Don't be a foolish man, because
basically just don't say things that could ruin the opportunity, and I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to hinder the opportunity that you're putting yourself in, because if you get yourself into a good opportunity, you don't want to ruin it, because you may not get that. You may not get a second opportunity like that. So
you basically only get one shot at this whole thing.
So shoot.
Yep. Well, you heard it here. 10 rules to talk to women at parties.
Oh yeah.